Hi, everyone. Welcome to this special holiday and year-end ramp-up edition of the Passionately Wrong podcast. I'm James Bellerjune, and I'm here together with my friend and co-host, Randall Searles. Hello. And we are going to talk to you just for a few minutes today about how the year went and maybe talk also a little bit about what is to come. You have a role to play in this, dear listeners, and a big role. And that is because we are here to celebrate what you paid attention to this last year. And we'd also like to hear from you if you have a view on what you'd like to hear coming forward. Alrighty. First question is, how did we do in terms of keeping to a weekly schedule? I think we started in February or so, and we said we'd try to post roughly weekly. How did we make out on that?
I think we started at the end of March or at the end, either the end of February or the beginning of March. I can't remember the exact date, but we got 44 episodes out. This will be the 44th. And this will be the last one for the year. 'Cause the first is, I think, on the following Monday. Is that right?
All right. That's pretty exciting. So in other words, we did stick to a weekly schedule, and it didn't seem to be difficult for us to have something to talk about each week, huh?
So I would say actually the 0 episode went out on the 3rd of February, and which gives us 45 if we can count that. And so we're probably about 3 episodes short from being weekly, to tell you the truth. But there was some, I would say I would blame technology for that. There were some technological problems that one time I was blocked out for a week and I had to yell at Buzzsprout and Descript and stuff like that. But we were pretty good. We got 45 episodes out for the year. So we're like 7 short, and we didn't do anything in January. So we're 3 short.
As far as technology goes, Randy, I would say I remember still feeling like a complete newbie when we started this. I knew nothing about it. And we both looked at, you had done podcasts before to a certain extent. So you knew more than me and put me on the path to some resources. Buzzsprout, by the way, one of the services that we use to prepare this, has some good resources that we use to get up to speed. I feel better about it now. And I got to say, considering how little I knew anyway, I think we were able to navigate figuring out how to run a regular podcast with some growing pains. But as far as I'm concerned, pretty well. I feel a lot better now than I did a year ago when we were first starting to talk about this. It felt pretty daunting at that time. How do you feel?
Yeah. So I think that if anyone's listening to wants to start a podcast, it's pretty easy with all the technology now. We use Descript to edit and post onto Buzzsprout and YouTube. So if you want to get a pretty inexpensive program from them and start out doing that, I think it's super useful. And the technology, since I'd already done it once, we toyed with some things. In fact, I signed up for one and we decided not to use it. And I just got a notification saying, do you want to pay another $400 for this? I was like, no. And we did, because we used it once and we were like, that's not the right one for us. But I think we got in a good rhythm, and we could switch it up next year if you feel like you want to. I'm happy what we're doing, but it's up to you. And we got I can get stuff up pretty quickly, and you seem to be editing it pretty quickly. And I'm really happy with the way where we took off, where we started. I think we also put a couple 4, 5, 10, 5, 6 episodes in the cache before we even started in case we were going to have some muck-ups, and that was super useful as well.
The tool we're using to actually record the episodes in the first instance, the one that we settled on now, is Zoom. You have Zoom Pro or whatever it is, and that's simple. It doesn't have a lot of features, but seems to work well. I would also say that we are offering this as both a audio podcast in a variety of formats, all the standard ones. That's what Buzzsprout does for us, just helps us populate those automatically. And then the video version is available on YouTube. And if anyone listening hasn't seen Randy or I and is curious, go look at the YouTube channel where these are posted. Yeah, just another format. And I think it means a little bit more work to prepare both a video version and a podcast version, but not too much. And I think the division of labor you talked about before is a little bit some of the stuff that we do behind the scenes. To answer your question, we haven't talked about this offline. I'm actually also happy with the division of labor. I've got better at using Descript, and I've learned a lot of tips and tricks. And although at the beginning we said, hey, we'll switch off and we'll both learn how to do everything. Maybe we don't have to both know how to do everything. I don't know. We can decide really.
Well, all right. And so I don't have to learn anything new. You're going to have to, it'll be a little bit of a challenge for you. And maybe it's something you want to do a couple times just so you know how to do it. But
probably a good idea. So let's talk about where listeners and watchers are coming from as far as we can tell and what they are enjoying out of the podcast. Buzzsprout does a sort of Spotify like wrap for us and it says, here's some statistics about your show. I think you also have some manual stats you get from YouTube, but I thought it was funny that Buzzsprout tells us we are jet setters, or rather, our listeners are jet setters. For the 44 episodes we posted, we've already got people coming and listening from 23 countries, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously, the United States and Switzerland are heavily represented, but just the fact that we have people from so many probably supports the thought that you and I both have, which is that we are talking about many times international topics and attracting, therefore, an international audience. The people that we know and have interacted with live all over. So it makes sense that those would make up some of our listeners and watchers.
Yep. And so I'm looking at the BuzzFeed map, the Buzzsprout map. Basically, the majority, so 800 or 73% North America, at 23% in various countries in Europe. And then we actually have 1% in Asia and 2 downloads in Africa. Have no idea where that's coming from. And 2 or 3 in South America. Oceania, how do you say that?
Sounds all right.
Oceania, they got 3 downloads too. I don't know if let's do it there. That's funny.
So to all of our jet setters who are in one country normally, whenever you're traveling, feel free to download an episode or two just so we can get stats for more countries.
We got some crazy countries like Jordan and Ireland and Australia, Uzbekistan.
So what are people listening to, Randy? Can you tell? Is it more the interviews? Is it more the topical matters? Is it a mix? And it's hard to say.
I think it's a mix. And it also, the interviews seem to be the most listened to. And that's probably because the interviewee are marketing it as much as we are, if not more. And so all of their friends, family, followers are learning about our podcast. The one we did with Chaplain Charlie Shields is by far and away the most popular, but he has over 600 followers on LinkedIn, among other platforms. So I'm sure that helped a lot. But he was also very charismatic and interesting, to tell you the truth. But yeah,
they're going to say we got some help from God there, but okay, we'll take it. Where that comes from.
Yeah, and then Eric Dorman was also a very popular one. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of weeks after we did that too.
All right, so that probably opens us up to something that we'll ask you guys also in the show notes. Anyone who is willing to spend a few minutes can provide yourselves an awesome service by giving us some feedback if you haven't already on any episode. What do you want to hear more of? What did you like about any of the episodes? If you have any requests or any feedback, we'd be more than happy to hear it. Randy and I are happy doing this podcast as we've been doing it. We're also happy to amend it or move it in the direction that seems to be of interest to our listeners. The other question we'll ask for you guys is, according to our younger demographic, our thumbnail is too busy and maybe people don't want to see a picture of Randy and me. So what would you like to say there? Is there some better thumbnail we can come up with that'll make it easier for you and we're happier to find our podcast? Of course, we're open to any topic. So if you've got feedback for us, by all means, let us know. One of the reasons we do this is to have a conversation with our listeners wherever they are. And that conversation hopefully is on a 2-way street, not just Randy and I talking or us talking to guests, but also you letting us know what's on your mind.
I just like to say also, after that, all the interview ones, the next popular one is the Camino de Santiago, which I got tons more stories of that. So maybe we want to do another one on that. But if anyone is interested, send questions our way. There's a lot of interest in the military ones that I was talking about, careers in the military and how you can enlist in the military and things like that. And then your ninja ship was also kind of popular. The running ones and the endurance ones were also popular. So if you guys hadn't listened to those, if you want to go back in the archives and bring them up, there's a lot of good information there.
I think mostly what we want to do is just say thanks everyone for listening. It's been fun doing this. We would have done it anyway, but it's even more fun knowing that we're reaching more than 1,000 people having downloaded episodes this year. And that, I don't know how many people it is in total, but a good big number. And we're happy to have this opportunity to speak with you. So thanks for listening, everyone. And we hope you have a good holiday, but also a great start to the year. And we look forward to talking with you again next year.
Yep. Appreciate you guys and Merry Christmas.
We'd love to hear what you think. So please comment on the show with your thoughts. We read all of your comments.
Thanks for joining us and thanks for subscribing. See you next time.